Oh, Ryan.
Hey,
It's good to see you here, my friend.
hey,
You're my good friend, Ryan.
you too, bud.
Dude, we've been friends for a long time.
We have
How long have we been friends?
since 2013.
I met you at the bank.
I did, and you interviewed me.
I did. You told me that you had a Green Lantern tattoo, and that's when I knew I had to be friends with you.
Right up here.
All right. I'm excited.
I'll show you, but my arm is way too pale for that.
Dude, you know what?
Get blinded.
Do you get burned when you're in the sun?
One would have to go into the sun first.
So you just don't, you avoid the sun. You're
Oh, yeah.
basically Jared Leto. You are the
In
living
almost every
vampire.
way, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Hmm.
I want to thank everybody for joining us here today. It's Wednesday, and we have a live show that we do every Wednesday. Do we not, Fire Guy Ryan?
We're here. We're every Wednesday. We're here.
We're here, and we're talking about some fun things today. It looks like you have a poll list that we're going to dive into. I want to talk about the DCU streaming service. I want to talk about the Marvel streaming service because we got new news there.
News.
New news, news happening all the time. We are also going to talk about Naomi. We had some ruckus happen this week, and we got to dive into it. And I want to also throw this out there because I want to make sure that we're able to hit the chat at least one time and have a dedicated community involvement in this show. So halfway through the chat, we are going to pause for questions, for super chats. So instead of us pausing every so often, because we do get a good amount of super chats in our videos, I don't want to pause the content. So we're just going to address them all at once. And in the review, if we ever miss something, we'll make sure that it gets announced on the next show. If it does happen, we're going to do our best to avoid that, though.
I'm weird about going back and watching these after we record them. So with the chat up and reading the chat to see all the stuff that I missed, because right now there's a whole bunch of chat scrolling and we're not looking.
It's true. I do appreciate everybody for joining us today, taking time out of your Wednesday. I want to get into this because we have a comic book that spiked this week. I don't know if it's going to be on that list at the end of the week that we're going to cover. I'm kind of thinking it might, but I walked in to Milky Comics yesterday.
Yesterday, while I was there,
I
no
was
less.
transporting over 50 long boxes of comics for the mystery mail call. Links in the bio to join the community. Oh my gosh, we got so many comic books because we're sending out so many to the community. We got to just keep them going, and we got to keep getting better and better ones. And I walked in, and what did Russ say? He said
A lot of things.
a lot of things. That guy
Who's
has so
Russ?
much to say. It's day before Wednesday.
Tuesday's the
Man.
busiest day of
You
the
know,
week.
it was not the right day to bring those, but we had to bring them there.
There's no time.
There's no time, but we had to. So Ryan, you were packing up comic books, and I walk in, and I'm like, "Yo, how's it going?" He goes, "Tom, Naomi, it's already going for $20, man.
Before it's even available for purchase.
Issue number 4 comes out today." And he's like, "Yo, this book is so dang hot. I can't believe it." And then he stops and goes, "Ryan, you freaking did it, man. Damn it." Because, dude, you called it. You called it so long ago that this was your book. And you cemented it on the internet. You said it, and it was it was a beautiful thing because you called it, and then it hit the honorable mentions, and then it hit the top 10, and then it hit the top 10, and then it hit the top 10, and this book is still going strong, my man.
I'm a little I'm surprised. I didn't subscribe to the series because I thought it would be hot. I just subscribed to it because Brian Michael Bendis is writing it.
That's right.
And I'm giving that man a lot of benefit of the doubt and jumping on when he writes something, especially with this transition to DC that he did last year. He's got a lot of cool new series going out.
So we had some fun things happen though this weekend. So aside from this book being super hot, really great storytelling, I went through issue 4. I'm getting super pumped. We don't have a whole lot of reveals happening, but we're getting close to something.
Oh, we got some reveals.
There's some big reveals, but I don't think we're waiting on a big one. I feel like the spec world is waiting on a big one. That's why Russ said that he had over 20 people try to add this to their poll list this week. Guys, 20 people wanted to add Naomi to a local shop out here in Mill Creek, Washington, to Russ's shop. That is a staggering number. That is Immortal Hulk kind of numbers right now.
I prepare the comics every Tuesday. I put them all in the sleeve, so I get to see exactly how many copies of X comic he's ordering. How many? Speaking of X, Major X, I think he had like 4 or 5 of those. Number 2.
Oh, they sold out. It's all gone.
Naomi, sold out. The new hot series, Major X. There's only 4 left. That's what that means. No, there were a lot more of Naomi in there than I was used to seeing any other month, and especially compared to something I feel has gotten more attention lately, like Major X.
I agree. Okay, so we had some interesting things happen over this last 24 hours, to be exact. Key Collector actually saw a tip in the community, and this was actually, I believe, in the CBSI Facebook community. You want to be part of their group page there. I'm not sure the community count right now, but it's growing aggressively quick. They're all the people from Google Plus joining the Facebook group over there.
One platform shuts down, the other one's got to
Yeah, that's where everyone's got to go, and they're going to Facebook, which is awesome because it's so much more inclusive and easier for the community to get involved. But that's where a lot of random spec news kind of comes up. We have just people like not people who make even content, like some people who make YouTube videos, some people who don't, but just random members of the community who are doing speculation, and they'll throw some stuff on there. And someone mentioned that, hey, Action 1002, the Manipul variant, it looks like there may be talk in the community, maybe a speculation that this particular cover, let's bring it up on the screen so everyone knows what's going on here, that this cover may feature, maybe in a flashback, who knows, but possibly Naomi, potentially. And if you were to go to eBay, this has been put into eBay listings over the last few days. So this is something that has been brought up in the community quickly. Then, to double down on that, Bleeding Cool separately got this information. There's no credit to Key Collector here, no credit to CBSI or anything like that. Bleeding Cool separately got this information. So this isn't just directly from speculator websites or spec apps of the sort. They also published something showing that, hey, Naomi's spiking, but take a look at this Manipul variant because it looks like this may be a spec comic book because it's seeing price hikes that at the time it's like a $10 book going for upwards of 20 to 30 bucks quickly. Now, what's interesting is we had a little bit of a Rob Liefeld situation happen.
A little bit.
Happened quick.
Yeah. This whole thing happened while I was asleep.
Ryan sleeps through most of the day.
I do. I sleep through all of the big news.
So let's.
This doesn't make much sense to me.
Okay, so basically what happened is this was a spec. People are speculating on this book. Possibly. Will it break the internet? Will this be another Spider-Man, Deadpool type of situation with Major X? Because let's remind everybody, just a little over a week ago, we had literally the same thing kind of happening. Is this a cameo appearance? Is this a first appearance?
Because Action Comics 1002 came out before Naomi #1, which Bendis has confirmed is her first appearance.
That's right.
So
that happened the same day via Brian Michael Bendis' Twitter. So what happened here is that he saw this tweet. Someone had asked if Action 1002, this Manipul variant, was, if there's any chance, is this a suspect? And Brian Michael Bendis tweeted out. He said this response here. He said, 0 possibility. I see there's some eBay issues with this. This is not the first appearance of Naomi. The first appearance of DC Naomi is Naomi #1. It's a little frustrating to even have to post this, but that's a larger issue than a tweet can handle. Ooh, that's interesting. I wanted to address that a little bit. So we have 2 creators here in the last 2 weeks, 2 giant name creators who have major series right now coming out. Brian Michael Bendis is huge. He's got a number of series that he's writing for. Rob Liefeld may not be as big, but his name is pretty big, and he is trying to get his new series off the ground. Hasn't had a whole lot of work done. Can't get his Kickstarter Indiegogo made, so this is his new big project. And we have both creators who are kind of throwing shade at the collector market, at the spec market. Now, this is the thing I want to point out. Both of these creators had an opportunity to look at the community's response to their work and embrace the fact that collectors are involved, helping make these books popular, keeping them published, ordering them in troves. You don't get comic books being ordered in additional 20 count in 2 days without collectors who want to buy that expensive paper. So, the one thing I want to mention here, aside from kudos to Brian Michael Bendis, who actually responded to a fan to let the collector market know that this is not the first appearance. So save your money. Don't waste your money. But at the same time, I say the same thing about Rob Liefeld, or I say the same thing about Brian Michael Bendis as I said about Rob Liefeld. This whole thing could have been triple the response had they gone into this with a little bit of a plan to actually take advantage of the fact that there are people wanting to collect their comic books. What I mean by that is doing the Jessica Cruz cameo, first appearance, first full appearance in different titles. Doing something like what Rob should have done, embrace the Spider-Man Deadpool cameo and said, oh my gosh, we plan this all the time. Go and get that comic and get Major X and my variant, because this is the first cover appearance.
Sure.
Had it like cause more of a spike in the community. Not spike as I mean like raising the prices unwarranted, but embracing what the community is excited about, which is collectible comics, and wanting to hunt down those important moments of now famous characters.
New characters.
So Naomi, what do we got with Naomi? Because right now I think that this whole thing happened. I like some of it. Fortunately, Brian Michael Bendis tweeted in time so that those who did purchase this comic book could cancel their purchases.
It didn't take very long for him to jump in there and squash it seems like. So
there are people freaking out, man.
Yeah.
There are people who are like casting shade at Nick over at Key Collector about like how he put out there like this may be a book to spec on. Like he put question marks. He said, who knows? You know, it's a speculation. We could be wrong. But there are people who are like legitimately upset saying, oh, people lost their money. Look it, they're selling for $30. I want to remind everybody.
Buyer beware.
Buyer beware. However, eBay, 30-day return policy after you get the damn thing. You got like 45 days if they ship it medium mail.
Good to know.
Yeah. So you know what? If it was like, oh, shoot, I spent an extra $10 or $15 on a spec book, poor me. You ain't out the money.
Action Comics isn't very bad either. You guys could be picking that up too.
I was excited for you to be here, Ryan, because I want you to take over this conversation because you told me when I told you about this whole thing with Naomi. You said something really interesting. You said that, and it made me want I wanted to get commentary on this because of it. You said, I'm buying both of these runs because I like it.
Right.
So on top of all this, we're talking about a really good storytelling. Tell us about these books and why you like them.
It just seems the whole thing yesterday seems bizarre to me. I don't know. This I got Naomi because I wanted to get on the ground floor of a new ongoing series with a new character, which haven't really dabbled in. I'm a relatively new comic collector, and new characters, I don't think, are created all that often, especially not in the two main companies.
You stick with your like main DC polls, I've noticed.
Sure, usually. But I took a chance on Naomi because I'm a big fan of the writer.
Of course.
And it turned out to be my favorite comic. I actually went back and watched our stream from the end of January, and Naomi was one of my top 5 picks of that month.
That's right.
Along with Action Comics, by the way.
That's right. Both of those issues you were excited about, and you brought them here. I was surprised. I'm like, oh, I got to read this now. I read it, and I immediately knew that this was something special. This is the same to be said about so many different opinions in the community.
I've compared it a lot to, I say this a lot, but Naomi feels like Lost to me, in the sense that it is slowly revealing or peeling back layers of a mystery that just get more and more strange and mysterious the deeper down you go, which tickles my fancy, so to speak. I really like that kind of storytelling. So I really like Naomi.
And Action Comics as well.
Sure. It's pretty mysterious. It's nice and low key, which I really like. It's focusing more on the Daily Planet and the newspaper reporter side of Clark Kent more so than flying in space and throwing planets at aliens.
What's your favorite part of Naomi right now, aside from this mystery that's unfolding? Because I know you've mentioned that you like the art.
I really do,
which
like
is something surprising. You always mention that art's kind of secondary.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's a little different.
It's really well drawn. I think it's very clean for a book that, at least until recently, it's 4 issues deep.
Here, let's put this one up, and I want everyone to see the number 4 issue. So let's put that down. Yeah, let's put them over
Is
here.
that how that works?
Yeah, you just throw it
Just
across
throw
the
it.
table. These are your comics, man. You do
It's
what you
okay.
want. Do you
Donny
remember
Cates style.
Donny Cates style? That's how we do it. It's like if it's yours, whatever. But oh, that's super bright. Let's see if I can fix that.
It's quite bright.
It's bright, but issue number 4, man. I'm excited about this. I like where it's going. Now, what are some of the? We're not going to get into any potential spoilers of this book. I don't want to do that. So why don't we do this? Ryan, what would you say prior to this issue? Some of the, oh my goodness, what's going on here?
What is going on
There
here?
we go. I'm trying to fix the thing. It's not working. What would you say some are the speculations about this particular character not revealing anything in this particular issue? Because I've heard of Green Lantern talk, like rather White Lantern talk. I've heard of JLA talk.
It's hard to discuss this without spoiling anything, but this issue is a info dump,
Okay.
for lack of a better term. I'm sure there is a better term, but I'm using the one info dump. There's a lot of I don't want to say answers because they're not quite answers. They are answers, but they lead to more questions. Like I'm just not even. I'm trying real hard to tiptoe around specifics here, but the last panel, as usually happens in every single issue of every comic book, the last panel is very cliffhangery, and the image that is featured in this last panel is causing a bit of dispute. I don't know. For DC fans, there are 2 different symbols, I guess you could say, that are shown at the end of this issue. And I should know which one this is, but to me, I feel like it could go either way. I don't know. I need to read more Justice League.
So a lot of this speculation about Naomi is who is this character going to become? Rather, who is she been the whole time? She just hasn't discovered it in herself just yet. And we know she's going to be, she's a superhero. And she's likely going to be going to a team of some sort, a different title of some sort. Something's going to happen with this character. And that's where speculation is kind of driving up this comic book, because the expectation is that maybe there's a new costume. Maybe she gets her, she dons this new superhero persona, and that right there is causing the stir. Aside from that, it's a fantastic book. So yes, there's a little bit of an inflation in this market, but let's not kid ourselves. Without this inflation, the rest of it wouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah, I'm glad people are buying it. I've been yesterday I made a post on Instagram. I read this new issue yesterday while I was getting the comics ready, and I made a post on my story about like I want to talk about Naomi with somebody. I need to talk about this series with somebody because the 4th issue is almost like exponentially more mysterious than the rest of them, and I'm craving like I need to talk theories with people, and it's a good feeling. It brings me back to the heyday of Lost when you're sitting there like wondering what the hell's in that stupid bunker in the island, and all these weird questions and stuff you're never going to get answered. It feels like that, like the whole community.
What do the numbers mean?
Right, exactly.
I like it. So if you want to talk Naomi with Fire Guy Ryan, it's at Fire Guy Ryan over on Instagram. And as you can see on the screen, it's at Comic Tom 101. So I wanted to just throw out a couple different tips. I mentioned it already in the video, but as far as speculation goes, it is it's a fickle thing. You're putting money into things. It's comic books. I mean, it's expensive paper. Like it's what it is. You're putting money into something that's already kind of weird. I mean, it's newsprint. I want to like take a couple steps back when we're talking about this stuff, because at the end of the day, we're talking about one of the few still existing printed media that is consumed on an ongoing basis every single week. This is an industry that is doing so-so, but it's an industry that's always been doing so-so. And when it wasn't, it was in the 90s, and is a different type of thing. And it was inflated, and it wasn't even doing as well as it appeared to be.
Sure.
So I want to remind everybody that as far as speculation goes, it goes without saying that, you be careful what you put your money into, but also know that you can always cancel, you can always return, you do have time. And if you're following places like Key Collector, Bleeding Cool, different YouTube channels, just be up on your news sources, because boom, look at this. We had a creator, the second creator in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks now, that came out and gave information to the collecting community. And that's super important. It means that they're getting active because they're seeing a effect on their side. They're seeing their comics selling, and they're seeing people tweet about it because this community right now, the YouTube comic book collector community, the IG comic fam is growing so much that they can't ignore us anymore. So we're going to be getting spec news even quicker. And the faster that these content creators start embracing that and start feeding into it, giving us those cameos to chase after, blowing our minds with those last page reveals, showing that green sparkle at the end of Avengers, alluding to an immortal Hulk that's going to come issues and issues and issues later, causing a ruckus over the course of an entire year, spiking a run that no one was paying for. Come on, let's do it.
It's all part of the fun.
It's part of the fun. That's why we're here. Ryan, tell me what you bought.
What else I got?
What else
Naomi's
you
the
got?
only one I read. I got home and I cracked that one open like last night. I was not gonna waste any
You
time.
walked in here, I'm like, dude, I know we're late, but take out Naomi. I got to go through that real quick.
Exactly.
Because like, we're going to talk about it today, and I got to know what's going on.
Naomi's the big one this week.
Oh,
me.
my goodness. But you got Middle
But
West
it was not a light week. It was actually one of the heavier weeks of comics I've had maybe ever. Actually.
That's a pretty big stack, man. Let's go through it. Let's show the community. Thank you to everybody who's currently joining us. We got a packed house here on Wednesday. We do this every single Wednesday. And, you know, we have some new shows that are in the works now that we're going to be doing. So we're going to be changing it up. You're going to want to hit that subscribe button to be along for the ride. Ryan, give me a second here. I am working on fixing this picture. And so I'm looking at Naomi. That's the first thing here. Hold it up while you chat about it while I fix the picture, Ryan.
Naomi?
Yeah, no, Middle West.
Middle West.
That's the one we're talking about.
I can't chat about it. I'm very behind.
But you are reading it.
I read number 3 is the last one I was current on, so I'm excited to sit down and read like a whole trade's worth of Middle West at once. This is Middle West number 6. Image. It's probably my favorite Image series that I'm getting right now.
Heck yeah. Scotty Young, goodness.
Unless there's something I'm forgetting.
From Image?
Yeah.
Well, Saga's not
Saga's
going on right now.
Hiatus
so
anyway, and
still on
I'm way
hiatus.
not current on that.
Oh my goodness. Some reason, I apologize, but our third cam, I screwed with it when I shouldn't have, and it is not functioning correctly.
It's
So
just
I'm
an
going with
angle.
my gut here and not going to just pull it up. So we're going to have to just abandon that idea. We're going to have to hold these up just for this video, comic fam. So we got
Cool.
Middle West here. Excited about this book. I know Erin did a breakdown of this with John's Comics with kids.
She did. I don't think she liked it as much as I thought she would have.
I was surprised. I
I
thought
was
she'd
too.
like it a bit more.
I
But
was too. It seems very Aaron to me, but I guess I just don't know Aaron.
there we go. There we go. So what else you got?
Justice League number 22.
Oh, nice.
I'm very behind on this series as well. I'm behind on everything. I like to build up a backlog and then go back and read like a stack of them all at once. I just went through the entire Green Lantern run so far.
Okay.
Right now, last night, which is 6 issues of the new Morrison Green Lantern. That's all. That's a whole bunch of fun. I got second print, Immortal Hulk 15. There we go.
And you're also getting Immortal Hulk. I like that.
I'm getting I'm kind of going hard with the reprints and everything too.
Okay. I know.
'Cause they're fun.
Yeah, we can let you know now. We're going to be doing a special that it's probably going to. It's kind of what we call it, a pilot. We're going to see how it goes. We have a couple new shows that we're going to be taking on, and it's going to involve on Wednesdays. We're going to be not breaking down, but we're going to do a special coverage on particular runs of comic books, and Immortal Hulk is one of those comic book runs that we're going to be sitting at the table going over. So
it's official. The announcement is official right now.
The announcement's official.
I got to start reading this.
Yeah, we're going to go over Immortal Hulk volume number 1. So if you have your copies, give it a reread. If you don't, and you want to sit through one of our videos, we're going to be spoiling a bunch of stuff. But we're going to be diving into it in a unique way. Looking forward to doing that in a couple weeks.
A couple weeks. Okay.
Right,
so not next week?
Possibly next week.
The original plan was next week when Aaron gets back, the 3 of us going over it. But
that is right now the plan, quote unquote.
We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. What else you got?
Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man 19.
Okay.
.hu. They've got this weird numbering system for the hunted.
This isn't the first time they've had strange number systems for this run.
Well, I feel like Marvel does that a lot. They do like the .1s, and they restart at number 1.
They want you to be super confused
all the time.
The Amazing Spider-Man Hunted. You got a really cool lizard cover here.
Yeah. I'm very behind on that one too. I stopped Spider-Man at like issue 12 or so, but I've gotten all of them, so it's a matter of time before I get caught up. This one, however,
American Carnage. Now this isn't what I think it is.
Vertigo. No,
Vertigo.
not Marvel Carnage.
I saw this. I was curious. I'm like, I did not recognize this, but they threw Carnage on the cover, which is a little ballsy.
It's
What's going on here?
gonna make it sell, of course.
I think that's right. Don't you
It's
think that's
a
probably what they did? They're like, oh, I got to put Carnage on this cover.
American Venom. Even though it has nothing to
American
do.
Venom.
Yeah, nothing at all to do with spiders or any kind of superpowers.
Our
It's
new
actually
comic book.
very dark.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna write our own comic book. It's called
Mhm.
American Venom.
American Guardians of the Galaxy.
Immortal Venom.
Yes,
It's
but it's
it's
not about
it's a
that.
spy thriller.
Exactly. Not that
All right.
far off. I mean,
American
it's an
Carnage.
undercover like.
So
white...
why'd you get this?
I like the story because it's like about a FBI guy infiltrating like a white supremacist organization, and it's super dark.
Okay, American Carnage tells
Mhm.
hard truths that everyone should read. All right, DC Vertigo.
I'm
My
only
dad's
on
a
issue
big
3
Vertigo
or so,
fan. So
but it's a really cool
you're
run.
only on what?
I'm only on issue 3 at the moment,
Okay.
but I've got them all, so I'm gonna get current on that soon too.
Okay, what else you got there?
Speaking of Guardians, I got the new Guardians, number 4.
Oh heck yeah!
Donny Cates, Sir
Donny
Cates,
Cates, man.
as he's known.
Sir Cates.
Did you
Make
see
sure to.
Jim Mint had an interview with him?
He did.
Sat down with him.
That was pretty cool. They had a nice conversation. Go check out
was.
Gem Mint. I was actually just talking to him this last week. I hit him up and I was like, "Yo, great interview with Cates. That was cool, and we got to do another show, man. It's been too long." He's like, "Just say when, man."
That's cool.
So that's coming. I'm not sure when. I'm not sure how,
But it's coming.
We're gonna find a way for the comic community.
It's a coming.
All right, and then what do you got there?
More Bendis.
Bendis.
Pearl, issue number 8.
So Bendis puts out a comic book, and you're like, "I'll put it on my list." Is Bendis your Mignola?
Yeah, I guess if you want to look at it that way. I never thought about it that way, but yeah, I don't think he's doing anything right now that I'm not picking up.
You love Bendis, man.
I might be wrong.
From the creators of Jessica Jones in half the Marvel Universe in the last decade. Two decades.
That
All
is
right.
the writer and artist who created Jessica Jones. Pearl's pretty damn cool.
There you go.
I got Spider-Man City at War, which
Okay.
is like a retelling of the video game plotline.
Okay.
Which I still haven't finished. So at some point I'm not going to be able to read those because I still have not been spoiled. I don't know what happens at the end of this game, which is shocking to me.
You're still playing that game?
I'm not playing it really at this rate anymore. I'm slowly working through it. Very slowly.
You're like, dude, we got to do content on the Spider-Man game. We can make all this content about it. And then a year goes by. It's like back when we were like, we're going to do Avengers. We're just going to cover the entirety of the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, we got time.
I mean, we could have read the damn thing 3 times by now. But you know what? We could play the game like 3 times by now.
Of course.
But it wouldn't be
times
as
by now.
fun. 300, right?
And then
298, 99, whatever. I don't know.
one of those.
All right, and then Age of Rebellion special. So this was like, this is kind of fun. This was a Star Wars and Game of Thrones week. This was not a
we were
comic
talking
book
about that earlier. Like for me, I've been very focused on non-comic book things for the past week. Because Game of Thrones just started. I binged the entire last season over the past week to get ready for this new one that just dropped.
No spoilers. We're not going to get into it. I haven't even watched it yet, but I am excited. I'm super pumped. I watched the whole Star Wars celebration via Variant Comics. He did a whole coverage while he was there. Yeah. That was really cool. Shout out to Eris, and he was he showed me he got a little clip of the response that the audience had to the trailer. Like I heard it. It was. And I gotta say, the trailer. I mean, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, I like them. I enjoyed the movies, but I'm just like, it's just not my thing. I'm more of a Trekkie. Not that you have to pick one or the other. But in this case, I watched the trailer. I was like, that's cool. Yeah. I'm excited about it. And I watched the fans' response. The fans' response to the trailer gave me chills. Sure. That made me actually more interested to see the movie, hearing how much the Star Wars community was so excited about this. And then I heard what Kevin Smith had to say. Basically, he is so stoked. He is so excited about the name of it, all these different, basically people speculating now.
Name is my least favorite part.
It's like 6 months of speculation of what does this mean? What does this mean? And
that's
you know
what?
Fun.
That's the fun. That's the fun of speculation.
It's the marketing genius behind the name. The name isn't.
People sounds very fan fiction to me. I'm not a fan of the title of this film, but that's
it's going to give people 6 months to talk about. Or whenever this movie drops.
I remember The Last Jedi was the name of the last one, and people are like, "What the hell does that mean?"
Exactly.
So
and with the kind of bust that was, with Luke and everything at the end, not really getting to see what you wanted to see.
It had its
People,
detractors.
it had its detract. People were like, we were upset. They were upset. I don't want to say me because I'm not part of this because like my
I loved it.
opinion
I
on
wasn't
Star
upset.
Wars, it's the last thing you should take my opinion for. But like that movie didn't do well. But the one thing that people were frustrated about was the Last Jedi aspect of that movie, and now you're getting another name that's gonna be, oh wait a minute, maybe this isn't the case. Maybe we're gonna get somebody coming back kind of name.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're gonna find out.
Who knows?
I'm interested to find out. All right, we're halfway through our show today. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us on Wednesday. We do this every Wednesday, and I want to bring the chat up. I want to say thank you to some members of the community who did some super chats. Thank you so much. And this is going to be our time now to chat with you, the comic book fam. Let's bring you on the screen here. Let's make this a little bit bigger so we can really see them, because I've realized in the past that the chat box has been a little too small. Boom! Look at that. We can blow it up. We're gonna bring that chat box up. I know we had a couple super chats. Thank you so much to the community who's helping keeping this whole thing going. Felipe Acevedo, thank you so much, my man. We do appreciate your super chat. Thank you for helping fund the show. Couldn't do it without you. And if you have any, we have another super chat here. Is that the same?
Is that the same one or is that another one?
That looks like it's another one from. It's two.
Yeah.
Felipe, thank you for both of your super chats.
Double
Thank you
dipping.
so much. Double dipping. All right. And if you have any questions or comments, this is the time we're going to take to chat with you. Just going through, making sure I didn't miss anything else. Looks like I didn't. All right, cool. We got Bueller in the house. We got Discovery Bay here. Let's take a look here. And please, if you see anything, Ryan, that you want to just shout out, let me know.
Will do.
Let's see here. Let's see. You guys attending New York City Comic Con this year. This is from George Ortiz. I believe I am going to be there with the Guru. That is the initial plan. I don't know if Russ is going to make it out.
I will not be.
My goal was to be able to bring it to New York, but I don't think we're going to be able to make it happen this year. Maybe next year.
Baby steps.
Well,
I've never even been to New York anyway, so
there you go.
That's terrifying, the concept.
Lime. What's the free giveaway today, Tom? Ooh, well, we do have it. It's right here. I found this book. I thought this was kind of fun. It's Avengers. Who Will Lead the Avengers? Issue number 279. I thought it fitting. Right. I'm just so excited about Avengers Endgame that we're going to be doing a giveaway today. This is the book that we're going to be giving away.
It's a week away. Holy crap! It's next weekend.
That, man? The end of the freaking era, man.
I'm going Friday morning.
Ugh.
9 a.m. $12 tickets.
It makes me feel weird knowing that this is kind of like, I saw the brothers who they put out the email, like
the Russos. Yeah,
they put out the tweet. It was a tweet, yeah.
About the spoilers.
Just kind of saying like it's coming to an end, you know.
Yep.
This is a thing that happened. So, anyways, Who Will Lead the Avengers? This comic, just like I was going through a bunch of stuff. I had a kind of a stack of books that were given away. And I'm like, I don't know, this kind of speaks to me today. I feel like someone may like this. It's a cool cap cover. So we're gonna be doing that. Make sure to comment not here in the chat, but in the comment section of the video, because that's not how we do it. I do an Instagram post.
Post.
That's what I do. So I'm gonna do an Instagram post with this. Hey Ryan, give me a nice little. Be so kind for me. All right, look at this. So this is a picture you're looking for. Ryan is looking a little scared. I like it. He's looking scared. We're gonna add a nice filter. We're going to crop it.
Filter out all my
imperfections. No, you're Ryan. You're perfect.
I know.
You're perfect human being. At Fire Guy Ryan is right here. All right, cool. So you're looking for this picture. That's actually what it's going to say on here. It says Fire Guy looking for this picture. On my Instagram, you're looking for this picture. And that's it right there. Boom. Looking for that comment there, because we're going to be giving this comic away. I know, it's awesome. Let's keep it going, guys. All right, we got Bueller in the house. And let's see, any comments or anything? Let's see here. Just take a look here. Swing by Lords. Oh, yeah, we got Lords of the Lombox who are after. Oh, they're actually like right now. Go check out Lords of the Lombox. We're a little late today. Their show does start at 6. Great show. You can catch us on
Feel free to abandon us.
Feel free. You are dismissed. All right, let's see here. We also have...
Ryan, get on down here to Portland. I need to, Bueller. I really do need to.
I want to know what the community thinks about Naomi, too. I should have probably prompted the community
For
some
Naomi
for
chats?
Naomi chat as well, because I'm actually really interested to hear their thoughts about this ruckus that happened. But we also have new Dark Phoenix trailer looks okay. Nicole Sullivan. I'm going to give it a chance, knowing that this is probably the last time we're going to see a lot of these characters
It's
as they're
definitely like the
portrayed,
finale to this X-Men series.
right?
I won't go see it in theaters, but I'll definitely watch it when it's out and free or cheaper anyway.
Carl Garcia says, "Hey guys, perfect storm with Naomi. Most retailers reduce numbers on orders with new books by issue 4. Opposite happened here."
Good point.
Carl, that is a very, very good point. Typically right around now is when the books are hurting.
Yeah.
Issue 3 and 4, like when things really take a dip, and we're seeing it on an upswing. This is similar to other titles that we've talked about over this last year. Immortal Hulk comes to mind. Seeing issues that were, I believe, as low as 9,000. I know there was issues that were around 11,000 in print count, spiking up dramatically week over week. It's crazy.
Does Naomi #4 have a big reveal for costume and powers? No.
The answer is no, not
I
yet.
thought about I thought about not spoiling that, but I think the no answer doesn't quite count as a spoiler.
I think with people spending $20+ on this comic book, letting them know that there isn't that big reveal just yet, as far as we know.
She may not even have powers. I don't even know what's happening, but I'm along for the ride. This could be a story about a normal girl in a normal town, and I'd still be reading it, but I'm weird.
I think it's great, man. Discovery Bay Comics coming in with the super chat saying, "Hey chat, let's show some love to the show with some likes." I do appreciate that.
Thank
Discovery
you.
Bay doing some really good work over there. One thing I want to point out with Discovery Bay, if you're not following him, he's changed his channel up a little bit in this
Yeah.
last week, and I'm excited about it because he's doing a little bit longer recaps of stuff that happened the day before. So
That's so
instead
cool.
of just like what's happening today, you're getting a nice little recap of stuff that he thought was worth your time, and he's clipping parts of shows in there. I'm
Where
like,
does he get the time? Where do you get the time? I
I
don't
don't
understand,
know.
man. That's so crazy. That's impressive. The
It
amount of work
is.
that you do for this community is overwhelming.
There's a handful of content creators and members of this community that just never cease to impress me. They're putting out so much time, and this is not just their hobby. Like I know how much time it goes into making videos. They're hours of their day,
Yeah.
hours and hours. It matters. So I really really do appreciate Discovery Bay. Please make sure to hit up his YouTube channel and be caught up on not just what's happening the day of, but now a nice little review of what's happened, so you know what other content creators you should be following, at least in this huge, this is now a lot of comic book content creators on YouTube. He's actually helping out, finding ones that you may be interested in, finding those pockets of information in these videos that you may be interested in. All right, what else we got? Ooh, we got
Oh,
Cousin 11. Holy smokes, with a $50 super chat.
thank you.
Thank you. Holy smokes. Thank you so much. That's very very nice of you. You're helping keeping our internet going. Any chance you guys can do some shows on collecting original comic book pencils and ink art that has been published? Absolutely.
That's a Jeff thing. That's not a Fire Guy thing. That is outside of my
Not yet, man.
financial wheelhouse
Not
at the
yet,
moment.
dude. I've chatted with Jeff. We've had Jeff and I have conversations about all kinds of things because we're doing a Golden Age show. We're going back and forth. I got books on Matt Baker in the house right now that you just brought here.
I did.
He's introducing me to so much stuff. And then like I have these conversations of just me wanting to just learn more because he's experienced so much in this industry and he's someone who collects original art. It goes for me like I know a lot about modern because every week we're discussing it. And then it goes to bronze. I'm a little bit more well versed there, and silver. Gold is in Atomic Age is my least.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
still learning that. Everybody knows. I try to say it as much as I can because I don't want to come off even in the slightest that I know my stuff about gold because I'm a student in that arena. That's why we have the guru here. And then it goes original art. That's an entirely different ballpark. I have no idea where to start. I can tell you about Mignola. That's pretty much where it is because that's how specific you got to go with a lot of this. You're looking at you're looking at OG creators, and if you're gonna put your money into OG art, it's a little bit deeper than just what comic book it is. It's the artist, it's the writer, it's the page, it's the panel.
It's yeah. We were at the Emerald City Comic Con and we were looking at the original art for Captain Marvel, right? The first appearance of was Avenging Spider-Man. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
Avenging Spider-Man number 10. That's right. You
And
just whipped that out.
I didn't even want to hold it. Like original art scares me.
It,
Like
it
I don't like
does.
touching things that are that valuable. Like
But the history is so cool because there's layers to it. Because artists, the way that they come up with their final project, it's not always the same. And in particular, there are artists that when they do painted covers, they'll do more than one proof. They'll have their stencil, they'll do like a pencil, and then they'll do like this pencil sketch, and it'll look like a regular portrait that they drew in pencil. And they'll put that to the side, and then they'll do a painting next to it. So there's actually two different pieces to this art. You can have penciled work, and then you have painted work. Different prices for each of them. You got to know the individual artists, the specifics to be able to authenticate it. And then you're dealing with pricing, and oh my goodness, it gets expensive. We have some original art back there that I'm super stoked about, courtesy of the Guru. And I saw something interesting, and I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but because in 11, thank you so much for this, for that comment there and that question, because I saw something recently on Instagram, and it's killing me that I didn't. I don't have the name of this member. He may be a private member, so it doesn't matter that I don't have this ready right now to show. But he has a favorite comic book. Okay, this is a collector that I like. I stumbled on his page, and he has like 30. I'm exaggerating, and I'm not even exaggerating. Probably 30 different copies of one comic book, and his goal is to have that issue in every single grade. Like, I'm not kidding you. It's a random New Mutants comic book, and he's like, that's his goal. He wants a point freaking 5 to I guess a 10-0 of this New Mutants comic. And then I was going through because I'm like, that's just
I've never heard
collectors.
of that. It's a very specific goal.
The collector's focus is something that fascinates me. Like, what makes someone interested to collect a
Yeah.
particular thing? For me, like, I have Hellboy as a fascination, but there's a lot of like controversial covers that I'm interested in, and I'm growing my fascination with the gold. However, this particular person was looking for every page of this comic. And he actually owned like 5 pages from that New Mutants. So aside from there being like comic book collectors, there are completionists, then there are comic book grade completionists, and then you go even deeper down that well, and there are page completionists. Whoa. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about with these, and I'm gonna cause in 11. Thank you so much for the comment and the super chat. Oh my goodness. All right, let's jump back into the chat here. We also have, let's see here. Adam Anthony is going to Seattle. He's gonna invade your podcast, kick it, and bring Pizza Hut. Ryan doesn't get picked pizza. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? What? This is the danger of reading the chat. What happened here? He's talking about bringing kidnapping key collector as well. Adam wants to hang out and party, is what it sounds like.
Sounds like something is happening with that at least.
All right, well, you know what I gotta say, Adam Anthony. Milky Comics is a pop-in place. It's like a party there every day,
Except Tuesday.
except for Tuesday. It's like we got a bag and board comics.
Tuesday's focus day.
That is focus day. But Adam, thank you so much. Come up to Milky Comics if you're ever in the area. I'm at Milky like 2 to 3 times a week. Russ is there every day. I know he doesn't sleep there, but he probably could because he's there so much.
Yeah.
But he's got a family, so I understand why he doesn't. I like the smell of comic book stores, so I wouldn't mind it.
It's not weird.
Right?
It's only weird if you make it weird.
Okay, Ryan.
That's my motto.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we are going to jump back into the discussion here. I want to ask you, Ryan, I want to talk to you about something pretty fun here. We got, I think, potentially the DC streaming app is shaking in its boots. What do you think?
I think the Disney Plus, the streaming service, lifted the curtain on a lot of the questions that people had about it. They announced that it's coming out end of the year, fall, winter 2019. It's going to be $6.99 a month.
Disney is going to be cheaper than DCU, and it sounds like they're going to have way more stuff.
Disney is coming out guns blazing, and I think they're cheaper than almost any other streaming platform right now that I can think of.
Guns blazing is an understatement, my friend. What are they doing?
They are out for blood, and the DC Universe app in particular is, I think, $8. Yeah, I just resubscribed to it. My payment went through. It was like $8.20 something for the month, and they have 3 original series right now. One of which is like a continuation of Young Justice, and then they had Teen Titans and Doom Patrol. They're filming Swamp Thing. I think they're finished with it, but I heard a rumor that the episode count got cut from 13 to 10.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That can't be good.
I don't think so. Yeah, it shows like a quavering signs of confidence in the show. I think it's either a bad show and the network doesn't like it and wants to lower the orders, or I don't know.
Who knows?
I can't think of another reason.
Yeah, hey, just cut the last two, shave 2 episodes off, and let's do it at the end when things are kind of
I
wrapping up
mean,
for next season.
however, I feel like the Netflix Marvel shows could have benefited from cutting a couple episodes out of those runs. Didn't necessarily need 13. They might have benefited from a 10 episode season. However, I think they're a little nervous about the pricing and how Disney is going to be coming in, undercutting them, and offering way more content, way more content for a lower price.
Now, I also read something about DC releasing a lot more comic book content
Thousands. Yeah.
all of a sudden. Like they're going, oh gee, they're just going to be dumping us
Which is good.
everything.
I've had this subscription for at least 6 months now, and the comic library on there has been wanting, to put it nicely. They have a very small selection of comics, and they're coming and going pretty quickly. But right now they're just adding, I think, every Golden Age, Silver Age, and like Bronze Age, I think, even comic book that they have digital versions of. They're all getting dumped onto the app, so they're upping their game when it comes to comics, but they're not going to really be able to compete with Disney Plus for streaming content. Excuse me.
So that's interesting. Marvel, they're pumping out a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And they're not just pumping out a lot of shows, they're bringing their actors that were famous from these films to this platform.
Yeah, they're really they're really coming out like guns blazing with like the Hawkeye show that they're doing. They're doing the Scarlet Witch Vision show, all featuring the main actors from the movie series. Loki's getting his own show.
Right.
That's not even touching on the Star Wars programming they're doing, which looks awesome. The Mandalorian looks really cool. All of the Disney original content that they have, all of the movies and animated stuff they have in their backlog.
It's like comparing an entire platform to just, I mean, really it is like Disney is now all encompassing. It's everything.
Yeah.
So it's like you're getting a whole station versus just one channel, and it's cheaper. Holy smokes! I don't look good for DC, but I'm still sticking through. There is something to be said about having that entire what am I saying? The entire index of DC titles, especially comic book titles. I like that they're getting, they're not getting stingy with their comic book content. I find it interesting that they're still being picky about that.
Up until now, their comic books were mostly modern, like Rebirth stuff, and then some stuff from the 90s, like the Aquaman hook stuff.
Really like what they want you to see.
Yeah, it was highly curated instead of just here's everything we have. Like Marvel Unlimited, it has pretty much every Marvel comic up until the most recent 6 months ago. They've got a pretty extensive backlog on there, and it's just have at it. Whatever you want to read, go for it. But DC is more like we picked these really cool series, read these ones, and there's not that many of them until this week. They're updating their backlog there, so that's good.
What are some of the shows that we're going to see Marvel release at this point? What are they talking about?
The Loki one, there's a Hawkeye one, there's a Vision Scarlet Witch show. The What If series looks really cool. I'm excited for that. I'm getting this thing. Like, there's no question. Yeah.
Everyone's going to get it. And just like when we saw Netflix start to bring some attention to these characters, we're going to see a new attention to a lot of these shows. We're also going to see a lot of speculation start to happen. We're going to see spikes in the market. We're going to be here to cover it. But I also am excited to consume this content because I feel like we are now stepping into a new arena as it pertains to these apps. We got a taste of it this last year, but really this is all new. This is all very much a fresh new environment for comic book collecting because we've seen Teen Titans and Doom Patrol.
Yep.
Swamp Thing's coming out. But that's it. And it's still new. People are just now being convinced after months of it being out that, yeah, I'm considering joining the app. We got to wait a little bit because in a year to 2 years, when both of these apps are now competing with each other aggressively and they're trying to one-up each other and they're each putting out content, we're going to be seeing shows hit in waves that we've never seen.
The problem is Warner Brothers is starting to do their own streaming platform, and now I think they're looking at the DC Universe app, which they own, and they're kind of wondering why Disney has an all inclusive Marvel, Disney, Star Wars platform that has everything they own in there. Whereas Warner Brothers is going to have its own Warner Brothers streaming app as well as a separate DC Universe specific app. So maybe they're kind of questioning why they are splitting their potential, revenue streams when they could combine all of this under one umbrella like Disney Plus is doing.
I mean, they're already buying out the market, and we're seeing that even some of these platforms are starting to share. You get Hulu. If you're paying for Spotify, you're getting Hulu.
Yeah, stuff like that.
It's ownership. Ownership's going to be changing, but at the end of the day, we're getting more content. A lot of this content is starting to leak out. We're already seeing comic books spike in the market, attention being brought to titles that no one's been talking about for quite a long time. And when you have animation content coming out, spiking comic books. I'm thinking of like the What If series. There's a handful of those books that people are already buying out right now. All right.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for that show.
Man. Gosh, there's so much potential, especially because when you have a testing ground for characters and they do well in cartoons, what happens?
Maybe they'll do well in live action.
Ooh, maybe they'll do well in something else.
Maybe we'll give them a new series or something. I can definitely see Marvel getting ideas based on feedback and response to different shows that they make. Like maybe we should give this person a show because they did really, or give them a comic because they did really well in this new show.
Absolutely. Okay, here I want to take a quick little pause because we have. Oh my goodness.
What do we have?
Did I do a? We haven't really. Okay, I just did a show before this, and I'm like, wait a minute, we haven't told the winner yet for the show yet.
Nope.
I'm going crazy. Okay, here we go. So
crazy.
I'm going a little crazy. So what we're gonna do now is we have a comic book here that was donated by a member of the community, Martin, who donated this Batman Who Laughs issue #1. This is Comic Karma that's gone through some Comic Karma and then was doused with some Comic Karma. Flew across the country. Came from us, went to Martin. He got it signed, sent it back so that we can send it back out to the community. We're going to find out who this is going to go to. Some individuals in the community want to know how we pick our winners for our show. I'm going to show you right now. We go over here to random comment generator. We find out. Oh, it's not going to work.
Can you zoom in any way?
I can't. Hold on. Let me see here. Let's see if I can do this in a better way. Hold up.
You draw straws. That'd be nice. Yeah, we just need like 400 or so straws.
Right?
Whichever one's the shortest out of the 400, that straw wins.
We have to actually cut out 4 different straws.
Yeah. Seattle has pretty hardcore straw laws right now, so.
Oh my goodness, this is so disappointing right now that my Instagram isn't logged in. Bear with me, guys. What's my Instagram password? Oh my goodness.
Better say it.
Yeah, I definitely just switched up everything. Ryan.
Say it out loud on the live stream. What's your password?
I think it is subscribe to Comic Tom 101. Is that right? Nope, that's not it. Is it subscribe?
Is it Ryan is cool?
2? No. Is it Ryan is cool? No.
Ah, damn it.
It's not Ryan is cool. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be
tough.
Okay, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do a special one. We're gonna have to post it on Instagram. Look out for it today.
A special one.
To do a special one to record it and then post it the feed on Instagram. And you know what? It's okay because I already have to record the giveaway for last month's Mystery Mail Call March giveaways.
I don't know how you keep all this stuff straight,
There's so many, man. There's so much to do. There's always so much to do, but it's okay because the comic book community keeps me going.
That's what you're good at. We love you.
We do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Very grateful for your energy.
For being here today. Ryan, any last words? Before it all ends.
It always scares me when you phrase it like that. It sounds like a guillotine's about to chop my head off, or the floor is about to fall out from underneath the chair I'm on, like Dr. Evil.
You know what? What content Jeff and I just did? We were talking about Golden Age. You know what we were talking about?
I interrupted you guys. I opened the door in the studio while you were recording.
You sure did.
It terrifies.
You know
terrifies me.
What the content was about?
Not at all.
It's Golden Age comic books, electrocution covers. It's random how it happened.
Like electric chairs?
Yeah, electric chair.
Okay.
Excuse me, electric chair covers. You know what? I think I said electrocution in the show a few times. Electrocution cover.
So specifically people getting executed in the electric chair, not just like bolt of lightning?
Yes. Specifically electric chair. You guys gotta subscribe to the show. We're gonna we just put out a Golden Age show yesterday.
Day or two
before,
ago. It might have been 2 days ago now.
2 days ago. We're trying to do Golden Age shows every week, and this next one's going to come out sometime next week. So you don't want to miss it. But yeah, it's a wild ride. This whole conversation, I'm learning so much about the gold, and it's pretty fun. He brings some choice comic books. There's a reason why we talk about it. I'm excited to show you guys. I had so much fun talking and looking at these comic books. But yeah, you mentioned that, and I'm just like, you know what? Why not? Ooh, what's going on here?
Uh-oh.
Tom's audio is not selected to his USB mic in OBS. It's on camera. Oh, what does that even mean?
Your microphone's not picking up and that camera is? This camera, perhaps?
I don't think so. Well, we're going to find out. All right. Well, thanks so much, comic book community.
Right at the end.
Hopefully this didn't sound terrible. You know what? I think it sounds kind of weird in my headphones now that I'm thinking about it.
You always sound weird in my headphones.
It's okay. This is how we roll. You know what? Geek responsibly is how we do it.
Or irresponsibly, whatever. Yeah.
Happy birthday to my sister, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tom, sister.
We're going to go to a birthday party right now.
Party.
Party up. Rock and roll.
Fire Guy's all about the parties.
Fire Guy party's hard.
Nah, false.
See you, comic fans. See you next week.
Good night.
And as always. What?
I said geek responsibly.
Oh, okay. Enough said.